everybody, it's Melissa here from Crochet Creations. As you can see, I'm doing this at a different angle. It's better lighting this way in my room, on my bed, So I'm hot. I have a little red tint to me right now because it's hot. And it's been hot all day. I want to bring you something today, and show you the things I've been working on. I haven't been really working on a whole lot, trying to look for a job. Went to 2 interviews yesterday and did paperwork for 1 today, and I thought maybe I could work it out with both of them, but I didn't. And before this one, and after Joanne's, I did, substituting. I don't know if I told you about that, but I did substitute for a month, and I'm looking for a job now and stuff like that. But all in all, I was still really, really busy, and I got tired of the roller coaster stuff, that I've been talking about at the end of the other videos and stuff. So the Afghan on again, he's just wanting to create a fantasy for me or something. If I want to think this, or forget that. I don't want to think that. I want to know the truth. Come on, man. Stop playing games with me, Oh, I'm not playing games. I said, yes, you are. Don't stop playing games with me. And, anyways, all came by, and he's gone. I, actually blocked him on my phone, which I usually don't do, and I don't do it for longer than a day. I usually get over it, but figured out what's going on. I had to use my own brain, because he's not going to tell me. He don't want to give all that information. I don't know why. He just can't come out and say, what's going on. So I'm going to hurry up and get over with this. I blocked him. He's still blocked. Thought about unblocking him, just whatever, just so he's not blocked on my phone. But I haven't. He's still blocked. But he came over anyways, and I kicked him out on Father's Day. See, if you mess up my birthday, you get Father's Day. I'm messed up too. Wish I could have messed up his birthday, and maybe I did. I don't know. He's always doing something else. So anyway, red flags. Let's see. What do I want to start with? Well, it's gonna be a me day and a Crochet Crowd day, and it's gonna be a yarn inspirations pattern involved in this and all that. So, what do I want to start with? I've seen the Bavarian stitch blanket. That's what I'll start with. And I've seen it, and I've seen it, and I've seen it, and I wanted to do it. And it's like, that looks really hard. I don't know. It's like intricate and everything, but I know I've done the Sophie's Universe and all like that. And it's not like it's changing patterns all the time. It's the same pattern over and over again. So I'm like, I'm not sure if I'd really be bored with it or not. But I've got like 2 or 3 of them started already. And where I got the pattern from was from the Crochet Crowd. But I had a little bit of problem with it because it doesn't say exactly what kind of stitches to put on there. From this tutorial here, is just the Bavarian stitch. You can find this on, you can see it here. But there's the blanket. You can see the blanket. If you see the blanket, you found it, his video. Okay, on that. And then here's the Bavarian stitch pillow, which came out more recently. It's for a 12-inch Bavarian stitch 12-inch pillow. And that's what you look for the thumbnail on that one, from the Crochet Crowd. And I did print print those out so I can take them with me. It's easier to access and everything. So that's what I did. And so I did that, and you look over here and you see the it's got 2 pages. You see this page and this page, and it has the stitches here, and it looks like there's back post stitches on here, right? I don't mean anything bad about Mike Sellick or the Crochet Crowd or anything. I love their patterns. They know it, but it doesn't say anything about back post stitches in the actual pattern. And I was going to email him or something and let him know, because in the special stitches and the abbreviations, there's nothing on here about back post stitches at all. But I mean, it's obviously a different stitch. It's not a regular straight stitch like a box stitch or pattern or anything. It's almost obvious that it's a back post stitch if you know anything. It's so I was looking at other patterns, and there was another one. I forget who did it right now, but if I'll get it ready for you, and I'll put it down below too, with the links to these 2 and this other one that I'm talking about. It's a square. It's a Bavarian stitch square, and it actually does say back post stitches within the actual pattern. And I really like that, so I use that. And when I look back at the at the at the at the diagram for the pattern, I'm like, oh yeah, duh. I don't know why they didn't register in my head. So I did that, right? So I started those, and let me show you what I've got here. I have a gray and white, wearing post stitches. They do say it's better to change every row, every other row. Like there's, you can do 2 colors, or you can do, 5 colors, 7 colors, or whatever, rotating colors or something. But they say it looks better to do it in more than one color. And then I started this one. You can see it matches my daughter's rug that I made her, and I may still make a pillow. I don't know yet. Elephant rug. It's the same yarn, same color, but I'm using the light gray. I was going to do more elephants with that, and I don't know, I just decided to use it for something else. This one is white, and that one's gray. I forget what the color name is it. Of that is, they're both Bernat Baby Sport yarn. It's easier to see. Got all the glare. Baby gray is this one, and then we have coral and white. And it's Bernat Baby Sport. I love that yarn. Very light for the baby. Okay. And I was talking about the man bag that I made. But let's talk about this other thing. I do have something else with the Crochet Crowd to talk about, but I'll talk about that later. As you know, you've seen it already. I was talking about the bags that I was making, in my other videos. And I asked to name these bags, right? This one's the coral color. You can't really tell it's pink or something. This is the coral one. This is the multicolored one. And I used 3 different ones. I used, forget the Katie print or whatever, and then the coral, and then the anemone on that one. And then this one was the cotton one. I made those 2 are acrylic. This one's cotton. This is what I was talking about. I think I have a name for it, but I'm not going to say yet. Y'all are coming up with some great ideas. I want all of these in one. If you want to go change your answers, that's fine. If not, you can just leave it there. And I'll still count it as that, but even this big one here. Thinking about, so I want to tell you how to do this without having an actual tutorial. I might do that. And if I do that during this tutorial, it'll be down in the description box below. And here's this one. This is the other one. These are from those games that I won. And I do have stuff in this one. It's being used. See the tension on that. It's a little heavy. Not too heavy. Here's that. It's a lot of y'all said those straps are fine. I was actually talking to a guy, and he's like, I want a body strap, or, and somebody mentioned the body strap already too. And then here's the man bag. See, this one has bobbles. You can see those bobbles real good, right? The bobbles, and then there's some stitches here in between the bobbles, and then there's the bobbles right there. And this one is the same concept, and it's the same amount of stitches. I just went ahead and did, I can't, it's kind of flimsy. It does have something in it, but it's not wanting to cooperate. See, I did shells here. Can't really tell that. And then there's shells here with the posts in the middle. You see the posts in between? There's shells there. And let's do this side. And there's shells here. The first row of shells and the last row of shells do not have the little fence posts in there. But there's that. Let me show you this other one. This one, eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Okay, so I've been talking to you a lot about, ooh, I do have to go get something to show you. 2 things. Let me show you this first. The Karen Pantones that I still have, I don't have any bamboos. Yes, I did see the bamboos. I haven't been able to get any. And I did go to Walmart recently to get to go look around, and I got to get a particular yarn or two, and they didn't have it, but they did have some on clearance, and I did get the one that was on clearance, the one that's not. So I didn't get very much, just two. Here's this one. This one. These are the same. These are the, what is it called? River Rock. You can't really see the colors very well in here. It's being washed out. It goes from the white to the dark brown. I like some khaki color one, and then I don't know what kind of color that one is. It's more of a light reddish brown or something. They're all browns, and then the white on top, and then it's brown on the bottom. These two, since I don't have 4 to make the angel shawl, I'm so upset. I'm gonna have to do a bamboo one. Unless I can find these online somewhere. Maybe. I haven't even looked. I am going to do this one right here. It's 3 pages. Okay, there's the back. I'm not going to show you everything. Okay. And the colors on here are not right because my ink went out. I'm going to try to do this cowl, and it shows you 2 different ways to use the yarns. You can use them in different orders. So there's version 1 and version 2, and down here it gives you the orders that they use. So see, this one is here, and one's there, and they're not all in the same order, but they just switched them by 1 slot, and it changed it totally. So I mean, you could even change it even more, like more than that if you want to. And so over here, it's going to show you the diagram. That's the first page. This is the 3rd page. I'm not showing you the second page. There's that diagram. But here's the cowl here. You can get this on Yarnspirations. Look under their patterns. And there's the cowl for the Karen Tone. Sampler Crochet Cowl is what it's called. So there's a little picture, but I'm not going to show you that. There's that. I'm going to do that soon. And I want to, I don't know if I've done this one yet or not, but what I made this bag, the man bag, out of like the shell bag or whatever I'm going to call it, I use a Karen Pantone, no, the Karen Pantone. I use a Karen cake with this one, and I'm not even done with it. But I still have this much left. Whereas like the Red Heart 7-ounce skeins, I still have to use some more. And then there's this little Notions bag. I'm not finished with it. I'm making shorter shells on this one. This one's getting to be a pretty good size for like clips or something. Clips or any little plastic Notions pouches that you want to combine and put together in one spot. There's that. And there's actually it did take more than one. Okay, this is the second one, and this is what's left of the first one. That's what's left of the first one. And then this one was already started, so I used this. I'm using that one for the other one. So when I make another one, I'll tell you exactly, if it's 1 or 2 or whatever, but I always like to get 2 just in case one's not enough, because it's not always enough. Okay. So talking about carry cakes. So the carry cakes, and it gives you a pattern with these colors and everything. That the pattern here uses the cake that it's with. Okay. But there was something I thought about doing a review of these, and I might still do it because isn't this pretty? I love this cherry chip. And then here's another pattern using the same cherry chip, just a different pattern. It's like a cowl or something like that. Yeah, it's a scarf. They call it a scarf, but it looks more like a cowl. You can wear it like a scarf. This one's a scarf. This one's knitted. The regular scarf is knitted, and this one is crochet. So that would be cool. And this one takes 1 ball, I think, and this one takes 1 ball. So you can, with one of these balls, you can make either one of these. The only problem with these that I see is they were wound in the reverse of each other. So I think, I don't know if I want to use these for a review. I probably will, because that needs to be pointed out, you know, and then, so I don't want to use these until I do that. Yeah, because see, there's the dark color, the chocolate color, and then there's the light pink. You can see that. You see this? This is a dark color, and this is the dark color. Like, this one's from outside in. This is light color. This one's from inside out. This is a light color. This is the medium pink. This is the darker pink. And then there's the red, and then the dark, and then the light, and then the darker pinks there, and the darker pinks out here. So there's dark, light, chocolate. Then you have the red. Then you have the medium. You see how I'm going in different ways? Then the light, and then, you know, the chocolate down inside, and this on the outside. So they're backwards. Oh my goodness gracious. So we're going to have to figure that out. So one of them will work from the inside and the other one will work from the outside. So there's that. And let's do this one. Have any of y'all seen this one? Does that look familiar? This is the Chrysanthemum. This is the first one from May for the Flora Afghan. Okay, I just got started on this week, and I was working on these when, what's the name, came by, you know. Interrupted me again. Like, it wasn't a good day, not a good time. He didn't even call, right? He didn't even know I blocked him. So here's this. The pink here is Karen, 1 pound, that he recommends. You know, he works for Your Inspirations. You know, he has to do that. But the other two are Red Heart. And I've had these, the pink and the blue, for a long time. And then I just bought the white. That's one of the things that I bought at Walmart recently to do this CAL. But I'm going to have to buy one more of each sometime or another before this CAL is done, because we're supposed to make 3 of these, 2 of the next one, 3 of the next one, and then we have 4 different ones to go after that. So we're on June right now, and I've already made one of May, and I didn't know if I wanted to do the reverse of these or not. And if I get done with this one, I want to do another one maybe. But because since there's 3 of some of them, I'm like, what am I going to make the 3rd one if these are the reverse of each other? I don't know. And I don't want to do like something different, you know, and I just don't know how it's going to play out. But this is the Chrysanthemum, and I'll link all these videos down below. Okay, at least one of each, just the tutorial one, because he's got previews and everything of these. Okay, and here, this one is the flower clock one from May. That one was April. This one's May. Of course, he uses different colors. He uses a white, an ocean, and a gray mixed. So it's blue, gray, and white. Okay, and then this one is the start of the Hydrangea. I haven't finished it yet. I put it down the other night and decided not to get the glare off there. Okay, and y'all want to see this one again. This one changes colors a lot. You don't hardly use the same color in 2 different rows, and sometimes if you use it in the 2nd row, you have to cut the yarn and put it in a different spot, because it's not in the same spot. That's what we had to do with this one too. And to cut the yarn, I put it in a different spot because it wasn't in the right spot, and you can't just slip stitch over to that spot. Sometimes it's behind, or a stitch or 2 behind, or sometimes it's too far away. So if it's like a stitch or 2, you know, forward, you can just slip stitch it forward. And if you can see behind me, I have this wall hanging from the Hula Home CAL, and that reminds me I need to go get 2 things for you, and I'll be right back. Okay, sorry everybody, just a little bit disorganized right now according to all this. Actually, my house is a lot disorganized. It's not as bad as it could be. It is somewhat organized, actually. What I want to show you is from this CAL that I've been doing with the Underground Crafter and everybody. This one is from the 2nd annual Softie CAL. This one is the Plaid Cactus. She calls it Plaid Cactus Amigurumi by Divine Debris. And I'll link that down below. She's putting the plaiting cactus. I probably call it a platycus, she says. The thing is, hers is green, of course, it's 2 different greens, and she's actually got 4 flowers instead of 2. She didn't actually say how many to make. I guess she could have made 6 or 8 or whatever if you wanted to, but I only made 2. I did one for the top and one for the bottom. Arms of the cactus. Now this one is supposed to be light blue, like the whole thing, but I accidentally did it the darker blue, and so I just did the backs of these light blue because it gives it a little bit of more color, contrast, or whatever, and it's a little bit of platy right there. The platycus. Plaid cactus. Find a breeze. This one was back on Monday, May 27th. And the other one is really super, super cute. Some other people had some other ideas for theirs, for the faces, and even a different, not the face, but something else. Isn't it cute? A little floppy disc. This is by Blackstone Design. She calls it the floppy disc Cuddle Buddy. You can find these on Ravelry. Okay. Isn't he cute with his little big cheeks? He's so cute. Now these two I had run out. Honestly, I ran out of stuffing. You know what I put in here? I put socks in here. This one has my son's socks in it. The old ones that he cannot wear right now. They're way too small. From like when he was like 5 or something. And he's 14 now. And these have, I think these might have mine in there. I don't know. They have more of his and then some of mine. But I know I'm not going to be able to match up anytime soon. They're way out of date. And they're clean, so that's what's in there. So they're a little tough. Because they don't have regular polyfill in there. They're a little tough. Hard. Can't beat it up. It's so hard. But anyways, let me, I guess, go ahead and walk you through this, okay? And then right after this is going to be the update on the Big Rocks Park, where it has people swimming down there. Where's the big one at? So this one's the big one, the anemone. This one has 100 stitches around it, but what I did from the start is I started with 50, okay? I was like, and then I put 51. What I needed was a multiple of 4, and I divided that by 2 because I'm going to double the 50 into 100, right? So when I start with 50, I need to put the extra 1 in there because I'm going to skip it for this single crochet. So what I did is I said 50, that's going to give me 100 stitches all the way around, 50 on each side. So I did the 51, and I did 50 stitches on one side of the chain, and I did 50 on the other side of the chain, okay? And so from that on, I did 15 rows here of single crochet from 1 through 15. That's including the first one from the chain. We did that one plus 14. That gives us 15. Okay, and after that, and you're going to slip stitch it together on each row. We are not doing it in the round. We are doing it, or I did it to join it, okay? And so, especially whenever you start doing the bobbles, you really actually do need to slip stitch it into the first stitch, okay? So for the bobbles, I started with 3 chains for row 16, okay? Row 16 is 3 stitches, okay? And so I did 5 double crochets in that very first stitch, okay? The very first single crochet, you're going to put 5 stitches in there, okay? And you are going to pull through all of those. So if you know how to do a bobble stitch, you know how to do that. You're not going to do complete double crochet stitches, okay? I might have told you that by accident. You're not going to do complete ones because if you're going to do a popcorn stitch, that's what you would do, okay? If you want to do a popcorn stitch there, then you just drop that last one and you pull it through the first one, right? But I did bobbles, so you do 3 single crochets, okay? Then you do 4 more, like you're going to do it like you're going to do a double, but you only do half the doubles, right? So you only pull it through once, and then you're going to have, you know, that other loop on there. And you don't need to pull through that one. You need to go ahead and make the other half of the other double crochet. Okay, so you do that, and then you finish it off with a chain. Okay, then you're going to do one more chain. Okay, that first chain counts as the bobble stitch. It's with the bobble stitch. The second one is for your spacer stitch, so you need that as a spacer stitch. So you do the bobble with closing it up with the single crochet, with the single chain, and you do one more chain. You're going to skip a stitch, okay? That's why you have the spacer there. You're going to skip a stitch, okay? So in that next one over, in stitch number 3, okay, you're going to put another bobble in there, okay? Now for the man bag, what I did is I did the shells. So they're going to be complete double crochets. And there's going to be 5 of those too, okay? If you want to do that instead, you can do 5 of the doubles, and don't draw up the stitch, and don't, pull it through the first, because that's popcorn. If you do the 5 for the shell, you're going to do also right after that stitch, you're going to do a spacer stitch, and you're going to skip a stitch, and then you're going to do another shell with 5 shells, okay? And you're going to start that one also with the very first one, you're going to start it with 3 chains, okay? So you're going to do that all the way around. You're going to do a bobble, you're going to skip a stitch as you make that chain. You're going to skip the equal to it down below, okay? So we're going to match it stitch for stitch. So you do a bobble in the first one, you make a chain, so you're going to skip that second stitch. So you only skip one stitch, and then in that third stitch, you're going to make another bobble stitch, okay? Then you're going to skip one while you're making that chain, and you're going to do another bobble all the way around, okay? So what you're going to end with is a chain. You're not going to stop with the bobble because you started with the bobble, okay? So you're going to stop with the opposite one, and you're going to, with that 100th stitch there, that 50th chain, after you've done the 50 bobbles, you're going to slip stitch that into the top of the bobble stitch, okay? All right. And so on the next 5 rounds, you're going to do chain stitches. So on that next round, that would be round 17, okay? Because in 16, you did the bobble stitches. In 17, now if you change your counts on that, if you did something different, if you only did 10, then we're going to be on 12 now, right? And if you did 20, we're going to be on 22 now, okay? So you got that? So I'm on 17. So I did my 15. I did the row bobbles, okay? And I'm doing another round of singles. So you're going to start right away. After you slip stitch it, you're going to chain 1. Just chain 1. And you're going to put a single right back into that stitch, right in the same stitch as your joining stitch, okay? And you're going to, which should be in that first bobble, okay? The first bobble should have a single stitch in it. And then the chain, you're going to put a stitch in there. Then the bobble, you're going to put a stitch. And the chain, you're going to put a stitch. So you're going to have 100 stitches again when you get back to the end. Okay? So 100 stitches. And then on row 18, you're going to put 1 stitch in every stitch for that one and the next 4. So in those 5, you should have 100 each in each of those rounds. And you're going to close them off with a slip stitch to the first single crochet stitch, okay? Okay. So we're up here. So we have 15, that's 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. So we're on 22, right? We're going to do bobbles again, but we're not only going to do the bobbles, we're going to do post stitches too, okay? We're not going to do back stitch, back post, or front post stitches. We're just going to put a double crochet in there. That looks like a post or a fence post or something. So what you do, instead of doing just a chain 3, and we're not going to start with the bobble, we're going to start with the chain 4. And that counts as your first double crochet and your first chain space. So in that first stitch, oh my goodness, where you put in your joining stitch, you're going to chain 4, okay? So that's your first stitch, and you're going to skip a stitch, okay? Because, that 4th chain right there is going to be for your second stitch. It's going to be parallel to that, okay, when we get done with this. And so you're going to do chain 4, you're going to skip a stitch, and then you're going to do a bobble stitch, okay? That's your 5 stitches, okay? You're going to do, if you know how to do a bobble stitch, you're going to know how to do that. So you're going to do bobble stitch there, or whatever stitch you prefer, okay? You can do whatever stitch you prefer as long as it works out. And then, yeah, and then you're going to skip a stitch after that, and you're going to have a double. So what we started with is a chain 4, you're skip a stitch, you're going to do your bobble, you're going to skip a stitch, you're going to do a double, you skip a stitch, do a bobble, skip a stitch, do a bobble, skip a, well, anyways, it's bobble, skip a stitch, double, skip a stitch. Did I say double? Okay, skip a stitch, bobble, skip a stitch, double, skip a stitch, bobble, skip a stitch, double, all around there. And what you're going to end with is another chain stitch. So you see how I've alternated the bobbles and the doubles, and all I did was I skipped 1, okay? I skipped 1 on that. And then as we're progressing, there's going to be 5 rows of single crochets. But on that next one, I think I need to tell you how to join it first, because before you do that next row of single crochets, you're going to need to know where to slip stitch your the ending of the row. So you're at your single chain, right? Your single chain, you did 1 chain, and you're going to go into the 3rd chain of that beginning chain that counts as your double, okay? So when you're doing it, you're going to slip stitch it into the 3rd chain. So you're going to have the 4th one is your chain that you're going to skip. It counts as your chain. So the 3 counts for your double, and the 4th one counts for your chain. So you put that into there, okay? So you're going to have a double at the end with a space, your little chain there, and you're going to slip stitch into the 3rd chain so you can make that double count as your double in your chain, okay? That chain 4 to count as your double in your chain. And then after that, you're going to have, like I was saying, 5 rounds of single crochet, and there you should have another 100, okay? Because what you're going to do is when you start back up there after you slip stitched it, okay, you are going to chain 1, you're going to go back into that same stitch, and you're going to do a single crochet, okay? And then in that space, you're going to do, in that chain space, you're going to do a single crochet. And so after that, you're going to do, in the bobble, you're going to do a single crochet. And then in the chain space, you're going to do a single crochet. In the double, you're going to do a single crochet. In the space, a single crochet all the way around. In the top of each DC, and in every space, and in every bobble top, you're going to put a single crochet, okay? So there's going to be 5 rows of single crochet. Okay. And after you get done with those 5, you're going to do a repeat of the double crochets with the bobbles, with the stitches in between. What I'm calling a stitch is a chain, okay? So you're going to do that twice, okay? So you're going to have 3 rows of the bobbles with the double crochets, okay? You're going to have 3 of those. And in the spacer rows, you're just going to have single crochets between those, okay? So after you got that repeated, and above that one, you're going to do the single crochets, okay? 5 rounds again. And after that, you're just going to do bobbles again. You're going to repeat what we did at the beginning, before we did the doubles at all. You're going to just do bobbles. You're going to do a bobble, skip a stitch, bobble, skip a stitch, bobble, skip a stitch, okay? And when you're skipping a stitch, you have to do a chain. So you do bobble, chain, skip a stitch, bobble, chain, skip a stitch, bobble, skip a stitch with a chain, okay? And then after that, I think I did 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. On this one I did 5. Later on I did 6. I think it works out better. You're gonna do 6 single crochets. You're gonna single stitch in that first bobble. You're gonna single stitch or crochet in that chain space. You're gonna single stitch in the bobble. You're gonna single stitch in the chain all the way around, okay? And then after that, you're just gonna single stitch in every stitch, right? Repeat it 100 stitches per round, 100 stitches per round, 100 stitches per round, okay? So 6 times you're gonna do that. 5 or 6 times, whatever fits your fancy, it doesn't matter. 5 or 6, more or less. I wouldn't do any less. I'd do more maybe, for the sturdiness of the bag and the handle and everything, and for the tallness of it. 6 of those, and then you're going to place markers here at the ends. I did 2 on this end and 2 on this end, so I wanted to mark the start and the finish of each 50, okay? Of each 50. Then I counted in here. I wanted to make sure I had 10 stitches at the middle, okay? Make sure you have 10 stitches in the middle. Mark the first and last place on there, or before. Actually, I did the one before the one, and I did the one after the 10. So the 0 and the 11, whatever. But you're going to leave those unmarked. You're going to mark it right before the 10, okay? Leave those 10 unmarked, because whenever you do that 7th round, you see I did my 6, right? So you're going to do 7, and then you're going to chain 10, because you're going to skip 10, and then you're going to do, in that 11th one there that you had marked, you're gonna SC in that one, right? And you're gonna SC all the way around to the next marked stitch, and then you're gonna make a stitch in that one, and then you're gonna chain 10, right? So you're gonna skip these 10 on the next round. You're gonna skip those 10 on this round, and you're going to do it in that marked stitch. You see that you had to have 10 and then 11. In that 11th, sorry, you can't see that. So you're going to crochet this right here, right? And then you're going to chain 10. And in that 10, you're going to skip 10. In that 11th stitch that I said to mark, you're going to stitch in that one. So you're going to stitch it in here before the 1, which I guess you could call 0, whatever. I don't know how many stitches you're going to do this way, but you're going to go ahead and crochet into that one. Then you're going to count these 10, and then you're going to on the other side of those 10, you're going to put a single crochet, and you're going to go all the way around. Like I said, you're going to do it again, but 2 times. You're going to do that. And then you're going to slip stitch it in that first single crochet. And then on the next round, when you do that, you're going to go back around, and you're going to do crochet single stitches all the way, okay, to that first stitch that you had marked, that you put an SC in. You're going to SC in that one, okay? And then for these 10, you're going to make 10 single crochets, okay? And then over here, in that stitch that you made a stitch in, that 11th stitch or whatever, you're going to go ahead and SC in that stitch that you made a stitch in last time, okay? The one that you marked 2 rows down. And if you're moving stitches, it'll have a marker in it that time. Or if you put a new one in there, so that'll be a stitch, okay? If you put a stitch in there last time, you're going to put it in there this time. You go all the way around. Single crochet, single crochets. You stop right here. You put that single crochet in that same single crochet, and you chain on the chain 10. You put 10 single crochets, and you put a stitch in every stitch that was in stitch before, and you slip stitch the very first one. And this one has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think I put 6 in again, 6 or 7, because this one looks like a little flimsy. But when I did the other ones, I think I made them a little wider, a little bit wider. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This one has 7. So I actually did 7 here. Then on the 8th one is the one I did the chains and then I did 7 more for the single crochets, okay? So it depends on what you want to do. So that's going to be a total of 15 on that one. I mean, there's a total of 11, 13 on this one. There's a total of 15. There's a difference, but one's Red Heart and one's Karen, but that's the way it is. And this handle's bigger than this one. I may even skip 15 instead of 10. But you've got the gist of it. So we have 15 rounds here, right? We have 15 here. We've got bobbles only here. Bobbles with chains, okay? And then there's 5 here. And this is, you're going to start with your double crochet or the chain 4, okay? You're going to do a space. That number 4 chain is a space. The bobble, chain, space, double, chain, space, bobble, chain, space, double, chain, space, bobble, okay? So when you have 5 rows of singles, then we're going to repeat. This one right here is the same as this one. They just look different colors, right? You see the double, the space, bubble, space, double, space, you know, the chain space, bobble, chain space, double, chain space, bobble, okay? And when we're doing these spaces, we're skipping the stitch here. You can see there's not a stitch in there. Not a stitch in those. They're skipping it. Can you see that? Okay. There's 5 here again. And this one is the bobbles and the doubles with 5. Bobbles, doubles, 5. Bobbles, doubles, 5. And then right here, we're repeating what we had all the way down here. Just bobbles only. Can y'all see the difference? There's no post looking things in here. No doubles at all. There's bobbles here. Bobbles right here. Okay. And so if you know how to make a bobble stitch, you know how to make this one. And if you know how to make a shell, you know how to make this one. Okay? It's using the same thing. These are shells. Actually, this one only has 3 stitches for the shells. I didn't do 5. I did 3. 3 doubles for this one. And if, like I said, if you want to go ahead and make those into popcorns, I mean, they're big enough, or you can put a 6 DC in there and drop that stitch and pull it through the first one. Pull the loop through the first one, and you have your popcorn stitches. So, that about does it for that. And thinking, I'm not sure if I'm missing anything this time or not. But I know, oh yeah, they started a new CAL. She just posted it, I believe, today for a dishcloth. It's some kind of baubles dishcloth, and I'll post that down below. And I haven't started that yet, and it's made with cotton yarn, and it has bobble stitches in it too. And Bag of Day just put out a video with the shawl, her Taste of Honey shawl. It has bobbles in it. And who was it? The Canadian crocheter. I like to say crocheter, but you know, she calls herself the Canadian crocheter. And she had done a bag a while ago that would match my hat that I made with just the bobble stitches only. And you know, I make bags with bobble stitches all the time, like drawstring bags and stuff like that. So she actually made a bag with a handle like these, you know, a handle bag like these with bobble stitches, and that's just plain bobble stitches. It doesn't have the doubles in between. So it's a really cute bag, and it's very colorful. If you want to go check her out and the Bag of Day out, and Marie Segarra's at the Underground Crafter. Like I said, they've got their annual Washcloth CAL out right now, and I will post that link down below for that pattern. I'm not sure if the whole website is up yet. She's sick right now, and it was all she could do just to get that posted today. It's too late, 2 days late already, and y'all go check that out. And It looks like this is going to be a fast one. I mean, you're not going to have to spend a whole lot of time catching up with it or anything. The bobble stitches do take a little while to do. I will tell you that. Like kind of like the popcorn stitches, that takes a while. When you're doing the bobbles, I will tell you, it's kind of like doing decrease stitches. You only do like the half the stitch, and then you do another half a stitch, another half a stitch, and then you bring it all together. If you know how to do a decrease, it's like decreasing 5 stitches all at one time. So if you know how to do that, you know how to do a bobble stitch, okay? So most of us only do like decreasing it with 2 together or whatever, but Mikey from the Crochet Crowd's got a lot of those decreased ones out too right now, using different lengths of different stitches, you know, the double crochets, the triple crochets. I don't know if he has, you know, the treble crochets. So that's what I'm talking about, not triple, but treble. And so go check some of his out, and I'm sure it'll just pop up when you click on his page. There's a lot of different right now stitches that he's doing, that he's putting out. And on the Flora Afghan, the patterns come out on the 15th. I think this last one came out a little bit early. So go check that out, and I will post these all down below for you, okay? If I forget something, let me know, but I don't think I will. So I'm going to go combine these videos and try to do some research while they're combining and get big rocks put on after this one. So I didn't actually say please like, subscribe, and share on the end of that one, but thank you for watching, and please like, subscribe, and share to this, especially if you like it. If you want to go change your answers, that would be great. If not, that's fine. If you gave me an answer, I will still count it for an entry. And I was trying to, I lost my brain for a second. I don't know. The 30th. It's on a Sunday, and I believe, yes, it is on a Sunday. And I think that's it. Like I said, Big Rocks is on the end of this, and I just said see you soon at the end of that one. And I said it twice because I put 2 together because I thought I was done, but I wasn't. So I think I'm done now, and I'll put that one on later. We did all of these and all of that, and I finished that. And anyways, y'all have a great week. What's left of it, and I will try to get all that stuff together, like I said, after I combine all this one with that one. And we'll see you next time. Bye. And please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. I'd greatly appreciate it. It's me again, guys. I'm sorry. I'm back. I was filming the beginning of this, and I remembered that I forgot to show you something. This bag here has a flat bottom, and I believe I have a number of 120 stitches around here instead of 100. So I started with 40 or 41 chains here, which gives me 80 stitches, okay? And then I'm not going to go over with the increases with you right now, but the increases were from the 80 stitches to the 120 stitches. So it's wide. I probably wish I would have made it taller and kind of bigger, maybe double stranded or something. But this is the Karen cakes with it was plum crisp at Karen cakes. So that's what I was using. You can see here where the colors changed. They kind of blended together. It's speckled here between the plum and the gold. You see, it kind of looks dirty or something, or speckled. So that's what that is. And this is the flat bottom here. It's got a ridge on it here. So the same ridge is on the back side. that's that, and I hope you like the bag and the pattern that I shared with you, and I will try to see what I can do to get that written down below. And I think that's it, folks. Y'all have a good week and a good weekend, and y'all I'll see if you like it, and please subscribe and share, and well, I hope to have a printed copy of that sometime. I'm not sure how long it's going to take, but I'm going to try to type that in the description box down below so you can see that. Okay, there's the rest of those. But yeah, that's the flat bottom right there. Alright, it's getting late, so I'm going to try to get this out to you and have it ready for tomorrow. And you have a great weekend, and please don't forget to like and share and subscribe, okay? Especially subscribe and like. And if you really like it, think people will like it, then share it with everybody, okay? And that's it. Have a great weekend. Hope you enjoyed it. Bye. And Big Rocks is coming next. Alright, everybody. This is for all of you who are interested in how the river is doing right now at the Biloxi here at Big Rocks. It is low, and you can see people swimming over here. I'll come back this direction because there's rocks protruding over here, or just where you can barely see them above the water and right under the water and stuff. And there's the other wall. I can't remember what that wall was. It might have been the old dam or something. But we come back over here, and you can see more rocks down here. More rocks than what we could see before, protruding from the water, scattered out, and there's people down yonder swimming. The little inner tubes and everything. The little beach across the way over there. Somebody out here today has a pizza. There it is. It's got a pizza floaty. Isn't that cool? It even rained last night, but it didn't rain a whole lot. So this is how we see since it had the big gusher last time. Was that a couple weeks ago? And now it's like 90-some degrees over here. It's like 94 degrees. It's really, really hot. Alright, guys, there you go. I'll see you soon. Bye. Right, this one they also have, let me show you the other rocks. You see this other floaty is a popsicle. There's no sign of water even close to the top of those rocks right there.